Never before in all our history have these forces been so united against one candidate as they stand today. They are unanimous in their hate for me, and I welcome their hatred.
The needs of working families and the middle class, not just the billionaire class. We know what's going on. We are paying attention.
Oh, good morning, everybody. It is the end of the corporate age in many ways, but the corporate is still really blocking us in a lot of basic things like healthcare, which is what the cover is. That guy, Anthony Rendon, good morning, everybody. We're going to cover the cover card real quick, and then just briefly, we will talk deep about that subject because he's up for re-election in 2018, but I need to talk about events because there's a lot of damn events. And I've got Laura Live and Good with me today. She's adjusting her camera right now, and we will say hello to her in a minute. But this guy is the one who put the single payer on hold in Assembly. It went through House and Senate in California and then went to Assembly, and that's where it's at right now. And he said nope, because he's an establishment tool. Even the gov, Jerry Brown, would have to go to the governor, who would most likely veto this bill if it passed through Assembly. Now, it's not dead because it can be renewed in a year. There's a 2-year cycle on this, so it could come back up again. I don't know how we're going to change this guy's mind on it. Maybe we have to pay him more than he's getting paid now by establishment. Maybe we just get rid of him. He's in the 63rd district in California. He's up for re-election in 2018. Who's going to run against him? Who do we got? Let's find somebody right now, and let's get this asshole out of our government, right? Because everybody in California, for the most part, wants single payer. They've shown that it works. His excuse is the same excuse that everybody else is using, that where's the money going to come from? Well, we've shown by the numbers that it saves money. The money comes from wherever the hell you're getting the money now. Just implement it. You don't ask where the money comes from when you go to war, do you? You just go to war. So how about we just go to healthcare? Anyway, good morning, everybody. DJ Dialogue, how are you? Trisha Yeager, good morning. Jupiter Judy Poodle, Susan, Steve, how are you? Stock Post, Kat, Louise, Kevin, and Froze. Hey, Froze, nice to see you. Internet working good. I noticed you've been posting again in the Slacks. And, oh, that sounds bad. That's terrible. I shouldn't have said that. Lots to talk about here. But let's say good morning to the lovely Laura Live and Good as soon as I can find the audio channel and turn her on. There she is. That sounded bad, too. Gosh, I'm just batting 100,000 million today. Good morning, Laura Live and Good. How are you? Uh-oh, you're muted on your end. Because I'm all good here.
Nope, that was me. I had my Yeti shushed up when I was fussing around.
Never shush your Yeti.
Yes.
That sounds bad, too. Anyway.
May I have a production screen?
You can, I suppose. How are you doing this morning?
Very nicely. I'm good.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, we'll get everything set. It's going to be 101 today here. Apparently, Laura Live and Good has very nice weather in California. Yes. They had their heat wave earlier.
And we just had a couple hot days, and then it cooled right down because I'm very nicely close to the ocean. But as John pointed out, I will be underwater sooner. So there's that.
That's that. Yeah. Huh. Who did I miss? Robert, how are you doing? And Metalhead, how are you? I know I missed a bunch of names. Steve K, how are you doing this morning? Jeanette, how are you?
Barbara.
Barbara.
Ellis.
Call out the names. Yeah, that's what we need. I need Laura calling. We just call out the names. Get everybody out. Good morning.
Ashley Terry. I could do it really dramatically.
Thank you. I have to fix your shot, Laura. Hang on. I didn't have time to do this.
Sorry.
No, it's not you. There. Now, that's much better. I cropped.
But I came in like a whole, 3 minutes before the show
Laura
started.
cropped video rater.
Yeah.
Get it?
Yeah. I
know
that's good.
That's bad.
I still don't have a production screen.
I know, because I'm getting it. Listen, everybody, I'm not wearing Walter today because it's going to be 101. It's going to be, that's at 5 p.m. Understand, it's 101 at 5 here. It will be 80 at 10 p.m. tonight here. That sucks. So we won't be wearing Walter today. Let me get a production screen for Miss Laura live and good going. And hey, Jupiter Judy, how are you doing? Eco Sutra, good morning to you. No posting in the Slacks. Froze, I know. That's bad. That would be invading personal space. We won't be posting in the Slacks. Yes. Poodle Susan, how are you doing? We booked Jeff Erdman because of Poodle Susan, actually.
Yeah.
I just want to say that. Thank you. Poodle sent out a note, and then Laura Livengood did her magic, and boom, right?
And he's really excited. They replied right back, and they're like, yes. So they're going to be on July 26th.
Wonderful. That's fantastic. Booking is something we're going to talk about, and I'm really glad that I have the wonderful Ashley Terry in the audience so he can hear what I have to say, because this is actually a general announcement message to both the Lynn County Democrats, the Progressive Democratic Party of Oregon, and anybody else who wants to work with me and the gear that sits in my garage, which I don't mean that as a, oh, look at me, it's my gear in the garage. I mean that as, yes, this seems to be the pinnacle of whether we want to do these live streaming things or not, right? And so we've run into a resource problem. I'm very excited about all the things that are going on. And this, by the way, this is related to the events. We have a ton of events. I'm going to show you the tons of events that we have going on this weekend. Today, Bernie Sanders is speaking. I'm hesitant I'm not sure I'm going to be able to broadcast because I'm pretty sure this gear is not going to function real well today in this room. So, and I won't either because there's no air conditioning in this room.
Not late in the day, no.
No. Tomorrow, I'm going to broadcast Bernie Sanders because that starts at 11:45 a.m. my time, right? And so we will be, and hopefully we'll be connecting with Charles Mon and Larry Taylor and maybe others at the Oregon State Central Committee meeting, which we're going to talk about later because I know a little bit more about what they're doing there and what goes on, and we're hoping that will happen. However, there's some conflict with some caucus meeting that Charles wants to go to, and we'll get it figured out. But here's where I'm. Okay, is it Michael Wood Jr.? I thought Michael Wood Jr. We haven't booked him yet.
No, his name has been tossed into the pile.
Okay, I see that, Poodle Susan, that you can't wait for Michael Wood Jr. Yeah. I need to learn more about Michael Wood Jr. You guys tell me more about him.
Yeah. Is he running for office, or would he be someone that you'd want to bring on the show here to just talk about more activist type stuff?
Yeah.
Because that's kind of delineation. We the People is for people who are running for office or are in office right now. Like we're trying to get Janine Calkin to come in and tell us what the heck is going on from the inside.
Yes.
She's representing Rhode Island.
Yes.
And she's an alumni of BTV, so that makes her extra special.
Founder.
Yes.
Founder. Yeah. She does she did what Laura does now, right? And then some.
And probably a lot better.
Well, because she had the luxury of running her own business at the time and having free time. You have to grind for the corporation.
So. Man.
All right. But listen, okay, so move, and I did talk to Janine. Janine said, so here's learning about what goes on in the Senate, right, at state level. Janine couldn't respond to me for several days, more than a week, which isn't normal, because she's in assembly doing the same things they just did in the California assembly, voting on shit, yes, no, all that kind of stuff. And I guess it's really, really work, right? A lot of meetings. Full day sitting in sessions. We've seen the images of from some places where they push each other's buttons from underneath the table. Some people are falling asleep. Some people are playing solitaire. Janine apparently was actually working, which is a rarity these days. But she was working, and she says, look, it's just slamming. We're doing all this stuff. As soon as this session is over, because it's like the last session of something important, whatever, then she'll be able to pick a date and she'll join us on the show. So that's going to be great. We're going to learn a lot about, from somebody who went really from passionate, supporter to activist to engaged with the campaign to running for office. I mean, there is no better story. It's
and winning.
Yeah, and winning and winning, right? And so anyway, it's going to be great to talk to Janine. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And
so people are throwing a lot of names out in the chat, and I'm afraid I'm going to miss somebody. So anybody who has someone that they would like to suggest for one of our shows, someone who's running for office or in office for We the People, someone who's just a cool activist with great insights on our core issues for Awake on any given morning, please email us info@bernie2016.tv. That goes to both me and John. And
so many other people.
And a lot of other people too. We're the only ones who are really doing
right
now. I think Scott's in there, and Markus might be in there too.
Right.
But anyway,
right.
that's the place to do it. So if you tell me, I told you in chat, I'm looking at 6 different things at the moment. I might miss something. So, and take some time. Tell us why. Give us some links. Pitch him. That helps us to know.
Yeah.
Who we
Yes. And I'm seeing. Okay. So yes, thank you for that, Laura. I think we need to make a form. I think I'll get a Google form out. Who do you want us to see? Drop a link to information and tell us what they're running for and where.
That'd be cool.
What show. We'll get a form like that going.
I'll add that to your list.
So, Melissa, I would love to interview Bernie Sanders in a long time ago when I thought that this station was the big cheese as Bernie 2016 TV. Listen,
Look, we named our show after you.
No, I'm just going to tell you the truth. When we were in contact with people working within the campaign directly during the primaries, Jeff Weaver in particular, Scott was told it could happen, right? I mean, they knew who we were. They knew what was going on. They understood our position. We all understood at the time, or we figured at the time, that there was a grave danger in Bernie appearing on anything that could be used against him. And our channel was definitely something that, while we were progressive, we were also very radical and edgy, and we were talking some serious stuff, and we were using some serious language and
reaching a lot of people.
Right, and we were, but we knew that it would be dangerous for Bernie to appear on our channel. It was better for him to be on all the other more polished channels. I mean, look how long it took him to actually be on TYT. I don't think you guys realize that. It took him a long time to show up on TYT. Okay, and so anyway, it never happened, and it would have been Scott. It would have been Scott that interview. So it's not, I got to back up and say, it wouldn't be Bernie 2016 TV. It would be Scott Galindez, who has press credentials, who's been vetted by the Secret Service to be around Bernie Sanders when he had Secret Service clearance. Right? And Scott did get an interview with him. Right? So it's only through Scott and his credentials that we would even get that. Today, the whole climate shifted. Right? And so I think it would be, you can tell that a lot of the politicians, that this whole facade of bullshit of what's perceived as what's not has fallen down. And these politicians, they want the airtime. And if they're not going to get it on CNN, and if they're not going to be given a fair shot on any of the MSM channels, they're going to go to YouTube. They recognize the power. Right? Our job in that is to have something worthy of being reshared, is to make sure that the production of what we do, right, is going to reach people and not just be self-serving. And so we have to take time and catch. So that's what growing this is all about. That's kind of where I was going with taking care of we're getting a little ahead of ourselves again with the growing of this network and platform between Lynn County Democrats and Progressive Democratic Party of Oregon, and running these shows, the different shows that are coming on this channel, and my trying to expand into We the People. This is my message to all of those groups here on the ground with me. We can do as many virtual broadcasts, meaning pulling people into the hangout like Laura from wherever and Markus. Okay, we can do that as much as I am available to do it. That's it. Right? Right? It really doesn't require anything else but this gear, me, and you. And we're there.
And some basic laws of physics.
Right. Basic laws of like yeah.
We made a list, though, evidently. Jupiter Judy said, we made a list of independent news.
No, I know. Well, we've got that. We're going to talk about that later. We've got that list, and we've got the liberal news media. That's not what we're talking about right now. Okay. We're not there yet. Thank you, though. So those kind of broadcasts, easy. You want to do a broadcast where we come on and then we show a rally that's being streamed by somebody else? Easy. We can do that. Here's where we run into a problem. When we want to broadcast or live stream something that we're doing physically on the ground, like the Lynn County Democratic meeting on 7/6, or whatever the Progressive Democratic Party of Oregon wants to do on July 20th, or anything else, right? We have a couple limitations, me, right? and then nobody on the ground to be consistent to do these things. Right? And the reason I say it's good that Ashley Terry is in the audience today is because Ashley Terry is the only person that I've been relying on the ground here around me to do technical things. And Ashley Terry is the only person I have that I know of on the ground with me that will work with me that has gear that makes it work on the ground. Right? So I can't rely on Ashley Terry to do all these coverages because Ashley Terry has other things to do, like earn a living. And while I have all the time in the world outside of my terrible husbandry and cleaning house and my haphazard farming and taking care of the farm, I dedicate most of my time to this. But if we want to expand, like all these plans are out already to expand, I'm going, I don't have the people on the ground who have said I will dedicate my time to be trained, to learn how to do the things so that we can expand into all these things. So I'm just throwing that out there to all of you in your executive committees, in your groups. I need people who have time so that we can schedule, so that we can do all this. Because if I try to do it by myself, it will implode like it has about 4 other times. I've built this plane in the air before. I've crashed it 4 times. I got to do it right this time. So that's the general message. That's nothing you guys out there in the audience can do. I need people who need to. I don't know how you guys do it. This is where the problem comes in. I'm not the ground organizer. Okay, I organize in the air. I don't know how you guys do your ground shit, but I need you to find the people. I need you to organize them. I need you to get them to a meeting with me, whether it's virtual or in a building, so that I can train people to do the jobs that we need done, so that we can understand where the resources need to come from, because there's a beautiful opportunity. Thank you, Ashley Terry, for making this opportunity possible, and for Chad at the Majestic. Remember a long time ago, I thought there was an opportunity to work with the Majestic? Well, there still is.
Yeah, the Majestic.
Yeah, yes. So here's the beautiful thing. I need gear. If we're gonna do this right, the Majestic has gear for rent that makes this very easy. An upstream unit, way better than the one that Scott's got right now. Okay? That's what we need. That could be rented by either party, right, to do their remote units. Then and this makes a relationship with the Majestic. Ashley reached out and made this work. He's got emails going. The negotiations are fine. Now I need to get together with the prospective parties, talk about this, make sure they understand what can happen, and see if they're willing to commit to that kind of a relationship. It also opens us up to be able to use the Majestic when we want to do a big town hall, because there will be opportunity to do that. Right? So I just needed this time to do, to just say that publicly, because I'm not finding enough time to do it in meetings outside of what I'm scheduling for events. That's this crazy activist YouTuber goes insane from all these fucking events, which is on the card, right? See, top story. It's a top fucking story. And I don't think I've said fuck yet, so I just needed to get a few in there. Fuck. All right. So that's that. And then,
I have to say that now that I've been working with you for a year, since the People's Summit last year was the first broadcast we really did together.
Holy shit! Yeah, no kidding.
I never see you pounding tables anymore. You are much calmer than you have been in the past. So
I had to work on that, or I was going to have a heart attack and die.
Yeah.
But it also means that I have to forcibly not give a shit sometimes.
Yeah, or be able just to let it go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let it go.
No, you've gotten very zen. Like, oh, YouTube's not going. You piece of shit.
What you don't see is the rants in the morning before.
Yeah.
I've
seen it, but yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That.
You're welcome.
Well, that took almost 30 minutes. That was 30 minutes of conversation. Holy shit. Wow. Let's just see if we can cover any actual news in the rest of the show.
Okay.
That'd be great. So the first next thing I want to mention, because that makes no absolute sense. This is really cool. I asked Laura Livengood and the wonderful volunteers who agreed to be list herders, right? The list masters, we're going to call them, to build a list of independent media, and with sources, and kind of organize it in a sheet. And they've got this great list going, and yes, it's beautiful.
I delegated that right down.
Right. Yes. And then I don't know who dropped this, who emailed this, or dropped it in Slack. Somebody sent this to me somewhere and said, "Look at this. It's a list," and I should remember who it is, but you might hear this and know. But this is freaking cool. Nicole Sandler, who is a friend. Do I get to say Nicole Sandler, who is a friend of the program? I've talked with Nicole Sandler. Sandler had her on a couple times. She went through a terrible thing with cancer. She fought cancer and won. Right? She had the Fuck Cancer campaign going on, which was wonderful because that's what I told my mom to say. It was great. When I heard her say it, I'm like, yeah, fuck cancer. So I was really pleased about that. So congratulations to Nicole on that.
Patrick who sent the list to us.
Patrick, thank you, Patrick. Thank you very much. Anyway, so there's a link to this. Her list of liberal media sources, and the reason I like this list a lot is because we're on it. I would be... Like
it's like we're in the phone book, like
right.
It used to be.
It's a small phone book. It's an exclusive phone book. It's like Angie's list of liberal media, right? Except it's Nicole's list. This is the Nicole's list or Sandler's list. We call that,
Sandler's list.
Sandler's list. That's what this is.
That's good. Sandler's list.
It is. It really is. So that anyway.
Meryl Streep will play her in the movie.
Jeez. She's in Florida. Is that where she is? I never knew where she was in Florida. Go Google myself. I have. Listen, I've Googled John Ellis. There's several I've talked about this before. There are several John Ellises that appear way before me. So I don't think I rank very high. I don't even know that I exist. I don't have a wiki page like John Ellis, the physicist in the UK, who's really old and looks like me when I get old, which is really scary. I'm like, I'm going to look like that guy with long, freaky hair and a beard and kind of a look on my face like... And then there's John Ellis, the saxophone player, who's got a fairly good career. And then there's John Ellis, the... I'm just going to go with... questionable scientist who developed some kind of electric water system to do something. I don't know. But those three John Ellises will always rank above me. I'm not. Anyway, but I'm on Sandler's list, and that's all I cared about. That was the point, everybody. That was the point, Sandler. And we have another list that we're gonna combine and cross-check and anyway. Thank you, Nicole Sandler, for including us on your list. We've included you on our list now in the description of the of our events. So there you go, for whatever that'll do for you. Not much, but it's there. It's there. All right, we talked about that stuff. So this guy, we're going to talk just a little bit about the guy that killed the California single payer, a little bit more. Right. His name is Anthony Rendon. Take a look at Anthony. He's up for re-election in 2018. All right. He's basically an establishment tool. And we need to find somebody to run against him. District 63. He and Jerry Brown are on the same payroll in that regard. Okay. Jerry Brown says it's not going to work. Where's the money going to come from? Where's the money going to come from? Oh, where's the money come from now, Jerry? Find it.
All that money that you give to the insurance companies and the big pharma, we could use that.
Right.
How about?
Right.
I
tried to read. Yeah, I mean, honestly, listen, I tried to read something that explained where all the money came from, and my eyes glazed over. I was like, I have no idea what they're saying. It makes sense. It's there, but it's all that money stuff, economy. I don't get into. I don't know. You mean he's up for being thrown out, Melissa? Exactly. Yep. Another fuckface corporate dem.
Yeah, he's up in 2018. Is that when he's up?
Yep, 2018.
Do we have anybody running against him yet? I should probably be the one answering that question, shouldn't I?
I Googled. I couldn't find anybody.
Oh, maybe there's not.
I couldn't find it. Yeah, we need to find somebody to run against. There's a Republican. I hate to say this and there's a Republican running against him. I don't know if that means, he could win the district and there's only one representative, or if there's a Republican and a Democratic representative of the district. That still confused me. I think it's just one person wins. But right now, it's controlled by an establishment Democrat.
I think it's two can get nominated.
Okay.
2 people enter, 1 person leaves. I don't know.
See,
That might just be for Senate. I don't know. So I'm showing my ignorance.
Right.
I'll find out who, if anybody is running against them, and then that's who we'll have on We the People.
And we will promote the hell out of them. Yes, because we need to get rid of this dickhead. And exactly, Melissa H. There will be now. We need to find these people, put a big target on their back, and then get somebody going against them. You know?
Exactly. That's what's happening all over the place. It's so exciting.
It is.
I've got a whole list of people to contact. You know, we're going to have We the Peoples coming out our ears.
Wonderful. And somehow we're going to broadcast all these We the Peoples.
Yes.
With dedicated volunteers. I don't know. How about a progressive? Those 2 words don't go together, Steve. Progressive and Republican.
Yeah, unfortunately.
The whole concept of a Republican is the values they want to adhere to are the values they've adhered to for several hundred years. They're not. I don't see them interested in progress unless there's profit on it. I don't know. Maybe you could do that. Jim Crow gonna kill us? Yeah. Jim, are you peeling?
Jim Lockett. I was talking about Jim. Just Jim Crow just came in the middle. Too many Jims.
I saw him post about sunburn, right? He sunburn.
He sat at a graduation up here in Santa Cruz last weekend and completely fried his whole head.
Oh, man.
Poor guy.
I worry about that, too. I should wear a hat, but I haven't found one I like. But I worry about that. I've got a hole burned right in the top. You can see the hair going away. Right in the top. Yeah. It happens.
Yeah, that's really because of the sun. So.
I know. It is. All right, we talked about calories. All right, so look, just somebody's got to run against that asshole.
Yeah.
Just bottom line on that. Beautiful. Well, okay, to be happy right now, we're going to listen to Bernie Sanders talk about the state of the Democratic Party with Anderson Cooper. And just on Anderson Cooper briefly, although anybody who likes him wouldn't be on him longer than briefly. I don't know what happened to Stephen Colbert, but he was called America's host on the news the other day, and he was having Anderson Cooper on. Oh, Stephen, what's happened to you?
He's a comedian. He's a comedian.
Not anymore. I don't know. Anyway.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. There we go. I loved you, Stephen, when you were with Comedy Central, but I don't know. I don't know anymore. Here's Bernie with the ever-gorgeous Anderson Cooper.
Democrat Congressman Tim Ryan told the New York Times just the other day that, quote, our brand is worse than Trump. Is he right? I mean, is the Democratic brand
He may be.
broken?
The Democratic, look, I speak as the longest-serving independent in American congressional history. The Democratic brand is pretty bad. I mean, I think the Trump brand is also pretty bad, as is the Republican brand. That's why so many people are giving up on politics. They're looking in Washington, and what the average American is saying, I'm in a lot of pain. My kid can't afford to go to college. I'm making $10 an hour. What are you going to do for me? And they don't hear much coming out of Washington.
It seems like the Democrats are focusing a lot on President Trump, not running everyone knows that they're against President Trump. I'm not sure people know what they're for.
Well, that's a good point. And I know that many of us are trying to deal just with that very valid point that you make. And what we are for is to raise the minimum wage to a living wage, to rebuild our crumbling infrastructure. $1 trillion investment would create up to 13 million good-paying jobs, to transform our energy system away from fossil fuel and into sustainable energy. And when we do that, we create millions of jobs, making public colleges and universities tuition-free. Education has changed. Technology has changed. Our kids need higher education, whether through college or vocational schools, in order to get the good jobs that are out there. And we have got to tell the billionaire class, who are doing phenomenally well, that Trump is serving so arduously right now. We've got to say to this class, you know what? Yes, you're going to have to start paying your fair share of taxes so our kids will have the opportunity to get the education that they need. You can't get it all just because you're a billionaire.
Did Anderson Cooper move any other part of his body but his eyelids during that entire thing? I think it was just like...
Yeah, they're talking about his concerned face, which
Right.
Maddow does the same concerned face. Like, I'm hearing you, but I'm concerned about that. Yeah. Just, the little line between the eyebrow
Yeah,
and the
yes.
and the squinty eyes. Oh, gosh.
But not even a head nod. Like other people do a
Yeah.
head nod. He's just
Yeah.
stoic like a Greek statue. I loved what you called it. It's like the Zoolander. He's got one look.
Yeah.
Right? Absolutely. Oh, you guys are hilarious. It's hard to talk when you are teabagging. My favorite A. Cooper quote. Oh my God, Jeffrey Pearson, thank you. Anderson Cooper teabagging. That's a whole another visual.
Oh my God. Okay.
Okay. Cooper's a huge part of us having Trump. They all are.
Yeah.
They all
Yeah,
are.
they all. Yeah.
Every single fucking one of the MSM papers, one way or the other, they've all posted articles on all sides of the argument, confusing the shit out of everybody. They're all terrible. They're all responsible for a lot. For the state of our government as it is today. The fourth estate has failed us. So and we're talk about that, about when they want us to pay or when they block us from reading articles online because we've reached our limit and we're not interested in paying for their costs. I'll tell you how to get around that. It's really easy because I think they owe us decades of free subscriptions for lying to us about things like climate change and gun deaths and all sorts of stuff. So we'll just, the state of our actual government. But Steve Collins, John, you said a third party has no chance. Why can't progressives invade the Republican Party too? Remember what Bernie said, did in West Virginia? Well, first of all, I said a third party didn't have a chance. You're right. I didn't think of the occasion of a third party just showing up within the Democratic Party, which is what's happened. So the Democratic Party has been split into two powerful factions that have different resource pools, but that are equally battle ready. So we have three parties in the United States right now. Sure, I think the Democrats could invade the Republican Party. Why not? The progressives could invade the Republican Party. At this point, I don't see why not. The problem is you'd have to be a pretty centrist Democrat in the Republican Party, which would make you basically an establishment. Maybe it's not possible. I don't know. We need a hard shift. Let's let the Republicans run whatever dumb piece of shit they want to run. It makes it easier for us to defeat them as Democrats. I really feel that's the better way to go. Yep, John, and what's worse is that everyone on MSM knows they are lying to us. Metalhead, exactly. They have Dunning-Kruger effect across their entire profession. Because if they don't perpetuate the belief amongst themselves that they are really doing good and journalists, then they will collapse in their own failure. I mean, they'd be like, oh my God, I've been doing nothing but spewing bullshit and spinning a narrative that's caused millions to suffer and destroyed our environment, and I did it making a 6-figure salary, and I'm a piece of shit. I mean, no one wants to realize that, right? No one wants to realize that. The New York Times, another example. It's not doing this because it dislikes Trump. It's doing this because ratings. Mm-hmm. Right? New York Times is still owned by a big-ass corporation somewhere. I don't know who actually owns the New York Times, but I'm sure it's some big-ass corporation that, is very happy with what Trump's doing right now. This is a beautiful article, though. You guys should read it, share it. It's got some great visuals. If anybody ever asks you, if you ever have an opportunity to talk to a MAGA lover still, and they're talking about all Trump's accomplishments, which we still don't know what those are, send them this link. These are every one of his lies documented. It's a pretty long list. And here they are in a nice graphic. More information. Trump told public lies or falsehoods every day for his first 40 days. Here's a nice chart showing what they were.
Consistent.
I know.
So consistent.
Yeah, well, that's true. He is consistent. This is just a beautiful. Trump's public lies sometimes changed with repetition. When Trump said China stopped manipulating its currency, April 21st, from the time I took office, April 29th, during the election, April 30th, as soon as I got elected, May 1st, since I started running, May 4th, since I've been talking about currency manipulation. It's no wonder his followers have no fucking idea what he's done or haven't done and can't answer the question. He continues to give them information that is changed depending on how he's feeling that day or maybe what he's watched on TV. Apparently, Property Brothers is what's programmed to be recorded on Air Force One.
Are you kidding?
Nope. Public mistrust of Trump. Here's what's hilarious. The same public that mistrusts him thinks he's doing a good job and will vote for him again. Anyway, love the... I know, Jupiter Judy. It's really nice. It's really nice. I thought that was a great effort by the New York Times. And just one more thing on Trump. Here's Don talking about not having the tapes. Remember when he called me better not have any tapes? Blah, blah, blah. There was a thug technique, right? Like a dumb mob boss would do on a street. And here he is talking about it, basically admitting to obstruction.
Big news today. You said you didn't tape James Comey. Do you want to explain that? Why did you want him to believe that you possibly did that?
Well, I didn't tape him. You never know what's happening when you see that the Obama administration, and perhaps longer than that, was doing all of this unmasking and surveillance, and you read all about it, and I've been reading about it for the last couple of months about the seriousness of and horrible situation with surveillance all over the place, and you've been hearing the word unmasking, a word you probably never heard before. So you never know what's out there, but I didn't tape, and I don't have any tape, and I didn't tape. But when he found out that that there may be tapes out there, whether it's governmental tapes or anything else, and who knows, I think his story may have changed. I mean, you'll have to take a look at that.
It was a smart way to make sure he stayed honest in those hearings.
Well, it wasn't very stupid, I can tell you that.
Does he think he's avoiding saying yes by saying it wasn't stupid?
I can tell you that.
Oh, Jesus. He's such loathing.
I said in chat, I thought W was cringy to listen to, but he's absolute torture.
W was funny to listen to. I mean, comparatively, he really was.
Yeah.
It was like, what stupid shit's gonna come out of his mouth today? You know?
Yeah.
W said
cringy,
stupid shit. He says hateful shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just nonsensical. W with his, fool me once. I mean, that's great stuff. He was. There's 6 books. 6 books. The last count. Every president has a book, a toilet book, right? Sit down, take a shit, and it's a book of all the gaffes that they've said. And every president gets one book. W, by last count, had 6 volumes. 6.
A matching set.
Yeah. It's like, I have the encyclopedia of W gaffes, please. From A to W. Anyway.
Don't let me forget that I need to leave at 11:30, John.
You need to leave at 11:30.
Yeah.
It's 11:11.
I know, 11:11. That's
all right. Let's see how far. There was only one really sad story. Well, that's one really sad story that I wanted to cover.
Yeah.
And this is
awful.
we're not gonna rant, but I'm just gonna say, let's talk about the greater problem here. LA deputies kill teenager while shooting at a dog. That is exactly right. They were dealing with some dog that apparently was being vicious. Dog came out to attack them. Another dog, I think, came out to attack them. They fired a whole bunch of shots at this dog. They're saying one of the shots ricocheted off the ground and struck this kid in the chest who was hiding, scared of what these fucking cops were doing with his dog.
He was actually trying to call the dog off. He was trying to get the dog and bring him in. And yeah. Rifles. Are you kidding me? What? They went to investigate a noise complaint. What the heck have they got?
Grab their guns. Grab their guns. Noise complaint. Let's go make some noise. Unbelievable stupidity. Unbelievable stupidity from our sheriff's department. It doesn't take much to become a sheriff. Trust me. I remember the billboards all over SoCal when I was living there. Do you have a brain? Can you walk? Okay, can you walk? Call the LA Sheriff's Department. Very, very. That's the one bad story. Now we're going to move on with some other good stuff. But I just had to mention that. Guns, LA, kids, stupid. I bet we've got 900 billion other ways that are non-lethal to take care of a dog. You should. It's the 21st century. Anyway. Why shoot a dog? I don't know. Yeah, Melissa H. I don't know. Animal control. I don't know. It's cops.
They felt threatened.
Have gun, we'll shoot. Yep, we felt threatened. That's all they had to say. They felt threatened.
Yeah.
And remember, they passed laws that basically said cops can shoot dogs whenever they feel like it. We can't shoot theirs. That's a criminal offense. But they can shoot ours. That's not a criminal offense. That's self-defense. It's funny. It seems like cops who are armed to the teeth are the wimpiest fucks ever. Afraid of everything. From women with mental issues holding knives to dogs. Cops sound like a bunch of fucking pathetic cowards to me. I'd love to meet a cop without his armor, without all his weapons. They'd run away scared, wouldn't you, little boys? That's basically the image you project right now, that you're so scared of your own fucking shadow you're gonna shoot at it. Fucking Barney Fifes. And he had more honor.
Like that picture of that in Baton Rouge from last summer, the lone, beautiful young black woman with the 3 fully armed Darth Vaders approaching her with their shields and everything. And
yeah,
it was just ridiculous.
Yep. Here's Randy Bryce moving on, talking about
Yay, Randy.
Paul Ryan and how he's not doing a damn thing for his district.
What do you think Paul Ryan is getting wrong in representing his district? Because he's got 2 different jobs. He's got the job of being speaker and trying to run that whole party in the House. And then he has another job, which can very often be in conflict, and that is to be the representative from that district.
Well, he's not representing anything, anybody in the district. He's been absent. He hasn't been in the district for over 600 days. But he does have time to appear at 50 fundraisers where you can pay $10,000 to have your picture taken with him. He's not doing anything for the people of the 1st Congressional District, and we're upset that we're not being heard. And whatever he's doing in Washington, it's taking away things from us. We're working twice as hard, and we're getting less to show for it.
Pretty much. There's Laura. Pretty much. Randy Bryce. Thank you, Randy.
He's on the show.
Yeah, I know.
This week.
Yes.
Yay.
It's exciting. Thank you. Having him this week. And am I nervous? Yes, I am. I don't know. He's a big old iron worker.
Oh, he'll be cool.
I know he'll be cool, but he's a working guy, so I don't have to worry about it. That's me. No, I've had a good time with all the other guests, but he's big exposure now. You know what I mean? He's like a celeb.
Yeah.
YouTube celeb. So.
Yeah.
10K for a Paul Ryan pick. Really? That's ridiculous. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I had the critical thinking teacher that I had when I started taking college. One of my first college classes was a hard right-wing Christian guy, but he taught critical thinking and logical problem solving. He was an awesome teacher. I learned so much from him. He was a big W supporter. Loved George W. fucking Bush. And he donated the max that he'd donate, $5,000. He got a signed, not stamped, but a physically signed George W. print. And he had that prominently displayed in his office on his wall. Yeah. We never had conversations about that. We talked about other things.
Yeah.
He never applied his critical thinking skills to W. That's what I was thinking. But anyway, just thought $5,000 for a pick, $10,000 for a pick of Ryan. That's costs have gone up these days. It's, and this apparently people want picks of Ryan because the RNC is breaking fundraising records while the DNC has the worst haul in years. Go figure. When you don't have a message. Yeah. Who was it that said that? Somebody way back. By the way, hey Brad, how are you? I don't know who you were. Way back. Somebody said, John, I have a message. Without a message, or a problem. Without a message in the DNC, we're screwed. This is true. The DNC can't raise money when they really don't have a message for the people. The people are like, here's what we want. The DNC's like, that's nice. We're not Trump. Right? Laura, what were you going to say earlier?
Nothing.
Oh.
I'm just in chat.
Oh, all right, cool.
Whatever it was several lines of chat ago.
Right. All right. No problem. In terms of numbers, just so you guys know, in terms of numbers, regardless of what's happened with Donald Trump, regardless of what's happening with the supposed death care, with the death care bill, regardless of all of this shit going on, the Republicans are raising more money. That's unbelievable. That's why I don't give a shit about the Democratic Party, but it's also a good thing. I don't give a shit about the Democratic Party establishment wing. I want to clarify. It shows us that we are not dumping our money into the Democratic Party anymore. We're holding back, or we're putting it into local candidates, right? And that's smart. Save your money, because the DNC at the top level doesn't deserve it. They haven't earned it. They're not even aligned with us. They're not our party. We are the People's Party, the progressive wing of the Democratic Party. We have all the resources and all the tools, just like the Tea Party did when they landed into the GOP. They were like, we're the Tea Party progressive. They used to call them progressive Republicans. I mean, I remember, if you remember this news going on, it was they invaded, then they started calling them different things, then they started saying a lot more people are involved, then it just became the Republican Party. We are in that same process of takeover. It just doesn't look as awesome and brilliant as a war in Iran. It doesn't have explosions. It doesn't have military movements or planes or Wolf Blitzer talking about it all. It's just us on the ground doing really hard fucking work.
And the RNC is making money because they're on the winning side, and people love to back the winning side. We've got a majority. We've got the Republican platform being sprayed about, left and right. It's easy to ask for money and say, "Hey, we're winning." Support the winners.
Yep, and that seems to be all a lot of Middle America cares about. Well,
yeah,
he won. He won the election.
Yeah,
and
he's a winner.
That really is. I was reading an article on some of the interviews and people they've talked to, and that's really what they believe. Well, he won, so he's doing good. I don't need to check up on him. That's the failure of our democracy right there. Right? Is to believe that once you put somebody in office, they're going to do right by you. We don't have the provisions within our government any longer to make sure that happens. They removed them. We have to reinstate them. Right? That's part of the problem. Term limits be a good place to go.
Yes.
All right, where was I at on the hang on. We talked about 45 and his lies. Can't stop admitting guns, kids. Ground game, liberal media list. We already talked about that, but I had it way down on the list. Just remember, share that list. Go say hi to Nicole Sandler. Hi, Nicole Sandler. Saying hi to you. I don't have time to drop by your show, but I'm pretty sure you don't have time to drop by my show either. But keep working for the revolution, and hey.
We love you.
Yeah,
love you. Yeah.
Randy Bryce talked about that. I guess we're on to Oregon Dem Party, Central Committee.
But you talked about that a bit as well.
I did a little bit about
it.
We're going to look at I just want to show you guys. There's a link in the description to the agenda for Sunday. It's actually got all the agendas, but to what's going on this weekend. And we're going to look at that real quick because it shows some cool things. So I guess Saturday's just a bunch of training stuff. They got this fundraiser going on in the evening and training here and county chairs and vice chairs meeting. That's that one right there. Sunday, all these caucuses are meeting. Black Caucus, District 2, Disability Justice Caucus, Young Democrats Caucus, Credentials Committee, Rules Committee, Platform and Resolutions Committee, Local Events State Fair Committee. So these are like the state level committees that take the resolutions from the county committees, I think, and other caucuses and other things, other groups of Democrats like the Progressive Democratic Party of Oregon, and they have discussions about it. Right? There's the caucus meetings, Rural Caucus, the Veterans Caucus, the LGBT Caucus. And then more caucus meetings right in the middle of when I was hoping to go live with Larry and Charles. It would be the Environmental Caucus, the Women's Caucus, the Gun Owners Caucus, and the Labor Caucus. And then in the evening, so they do this credentialing at lunch, everybody talks around, blah, blah, blah. And then there's the business. Call to order, Pledge of Allegiance, welcome, officers, reports, agendas. And they're voting on a bunch of stuff. There's all these resolutions down here. Resolution to call for a statewide carbon tax to fund renewable energy projects. Resolution to support Governor Brown's decision to join the United States Climate Alliance. To create a statewide jail oversight task force to protect the vulnerable, specifically our immigrant populations. I mean, these all sound like great things. We don't know what the details are of them, and I'm sure part of these discussions are going to be revamping the wording or making sure that what we're trying to get out of it is in there and that it's worded correctly. and this needs to happen, right? Resolutions for just my county Democratic Party. There was a thing in there that was like the top priorities of our party. It was like a summary of our mission statement, and I didn't like the wording of healthcare because in it, literally, and I mean it in the first definition, were the words "have access to," and I'm like, nope. Why would you even put that in there? Healthcare, human right, just not have access to, bullshit. So, I mean, but that's what's great about this. We're having that discussion about that document in Google Docs now. Because we made that happen. Made that happen. Seriously.
Yes.
I went and talked to Nancy, said, let's go use Google Docs. She said, that's a great idea. Let's put this in Google Docs. And I don't remember if it was Bud or Mark from the Democratic Party on the committee said, here it is in Google Docs. Now let's discuss it. Boom, now we're using Google Docs. We just upgraded the Democratic Party of Lynn County by 20 years in 10 seconds. It's amazing. Anyway.
Oh, and we did hear from Larry in Slack about his timing tomorrow.
Oh yeah, what's going on?
He's gonna be in the Rules Committee until about 10:45.
Okay.
And it might go a little late.
Okay.
So he's suggesting that he comes on at between 11:15 and 11:40, so the half hour before Bernie.
Well, so Bernie's not really going to start at that time. That's going to be the pre-rally, but that's fine. I mean, I was going to start 15 minutes early, but I can start 30 minutes early and talk to him, right? So
yeah.
Or even earlier than that if we want to. I don't care. Fine.
Perfect.
Great.
And they've got 2 phones with Hangouts, so they have redundancy, and he's all hooked up with Charles, so it'll be the 2 of them, and they can let us know what's going on there from their side.
All right. Well, then I will adjust my go live time. And then we're talking Sunday, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I will adjust my go live time. I'll be going live earlier. Sorry, Ashley, you don't have to change the card time if you don't want. It's okay. But yeah, we'll get that done.
Again,
I know. Listen, that's if I had to put a priority on the most valuable individual within all of this revolution besides the guy that owns the equipment that streams, it would be the person who makes the cards. The graphics person. Without a graphics person, you get my graphics. Nobody wants my graphics. Ever. Although I will say I have improved greatly since 2012. You should go look at some of those works of art. But the graphic designer for the revolution, the graphic designers, all of them around the world, all praise thee, thank you, and please don't burn out, because I go through designers like, I don't know, it's crazy. Ashley's been, that's why I'm so careful. I don't want to abuse the Ashley because it's an asset. All right.
I'll have to dig it out. There's a list of the 6 people you need for a revolution, and the artist is one of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. In different factions too, right? There's a guy I know named Brian. I'm not going to remember his last name, but he shows up at the meetings, and he's the guy way back at the beginning of the Bernie campaign who was painting those big 4x6 Bernie signs that were being dropped in all the rural Oregon areas that we saw as people drive down the roads. I mean, I had one in one of the videos. We ran all the time. I met the guy that did those.
Yeah.
He's really fucking cool. You know, that's another artist, but you need that. That's media creation. Otherwise, you get a bunch of nerds like me making stick figures and fucking, typing crap on it. It's bad. It's really bad.
I'm gonna have to drop out, but what's the song? What is the song tonight? Just so that I can hum along in the car.
Here, let's say goodbye to Laura, everybody.
Yeah, I gotta go. I've got a graduation party to go to for some relatives. So.
Oh, fun!
We're gonna go.
So the song is "Learning to Fly," Pink Floyd.
Oh.
Momentary Lapse of Reason.
I love Pink Floyd.
The song should be okay, but I don't know about the video. The video might shut us down, which is what happened yesterday. But anyway.
Okay. Bye, y'all.
Bye, Laura. Thank you.
Love you all. My favorite day of the week. Thank you all for being here. Really cool group today. Not too
miss you, Laura. Thank you for all you do.
Bye. Talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
And at-home activism. Thank you for doing those videos. That's like the next important part. Somebody who knows how to do video work, right? You got the graphics person, the video works person, but really in the end, the most important people to be involved in this whole thing would be an audience. You. Without you, this is kind of silly. So thank you for being there. Right? All right. Yes, I will start early on Sunday. Maybe we'll get the card changed. Maybe we won't. But the event will start when I start it. It'll probably be 11:15. Why not? We'll just run along. Whatever time we need to talk to Larry there. All right, so moving on. We're actually into climate already. I'm running pretty good here. This is really weird. Huh. Free article limits. I was going to talk about free article limits. You guys know what I'm talking about? This free article limits is a lot of things we're seeing on like the LA Times, New York Times, a lot of the bigger name news organizations. Some aren't doing it. The ones that are independent and really cool aren't doing it, right? Democracy Now! Doesn't do it. TYT doesn't do it on any of their content. Not that they're putting a lot of postings, right? But just in terms of use of their video content. Most of the indies don't, like HuffPost. HuffPost doesn't lock down content on the articles. You're just looking at ads. Here's what's happening. What I'm talking about is having to pay for media on the web. Right? And as much as I complain about the LA Times and who owns the LA Times and who and whatnot, and whether their overall narrative is benefiting us or not, they put out good material. David Horsey writes good material for the LA Times. I use that material. The LA Times has a limit to the number of things I can use from them, and that's fine. I can find source material from other places. If you use a source material a lot, like I do in spreading independent media, you run out of your allotted free articles. The way to get around that is to simply create a new profile in Chrome or whatever browser you use, and then go use that profile to look at new articles. Just saying. Because here's the deal. I would be happy to look at an advertisement or to have to answer a little form. I'd be happy to, watch a little video beforehand. I'm not going to pay for your content, though. Not that way. I'm not going to directly pay for a subscription online. I don't believe that. And I kind of feel like all media owes us a free subscription. And I also feel that there needs to be included in the new contract for intellectual property and social engagement in the 21st century with content on the web, that there should be social credit applied to sharing and promotion of other people's content. So if I'm going to share and promote the LA Times article, that should give me access to more of their content, because I've actually done work for them, and no business actually credits the people that do that work. That's the whole point of, or one of the tenets of engagement broadcasting, is to somehow reward you, whether it be in real time or afterwards or in conversation, for being here, for engaging, for sharing, for promoting me. Because by being here and sharing and engaging, you help promote this and what we do, whether you want to or not. Your engagement helps rise this up in search for what we talk about. And all companies know this. They're just not willing or interested in paying you for that. It's the hypocrisy of the web. YouTube's like, well, copyright and, well, infringement. And, well, my promotional skills with your content aren't even being considered in this negotiation, right? So anyway, that's just where I wanted to go on that. Take a little bit about that. If you want to get around it, all you got to do is create another profile for those things. Otherwise, I have no problem looking at the advertisements. I really don't, because I just ignore them. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but we really do need to change the DCMA laws. We need to change how intellectual property is handled on the web and all of that around it. And we got to get the greed away from it. That's the first step, because it's all based on greed at this point. All right. It's getting pretty hot in here, which is all right. We've got like a half hour to go. We're getting into the climate stuff. There's a little bit to talk about here with Kenya and coal and China. I've been talking about how China is going to become the leader in renewables, and they are, just because they are working fast towards renewables. But China is also being just like us, in the sense that they don't care really about the environment for other people, because they are getting into the game, or have been in the game, of selling fossil fuel infrastructure, fossil fuel energy plants, coal-driven plants to other countries like Africa. Africa is starting to, has got a potential here, And instead of investing in renewables, Africa and their greed and their people who are running the show there, like in Kenya, are partnering with people like China to build coal plants. We're going to watch this this short video here on a UNESCO. This is a UNESCO project. It's Lamu Island, which is a 700-year-old community historical site. It's a UNESCO heritage site, and they were going to build a giant fucking coal factory on this beautiful island and fuck it up. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. Watch this video. Yeah. I don't know why they'd even bother doing that. This is there's several articles that I've listed in the description of the event on YouTube, and one of them is a Nat Geo article on how new coal plants in Africa are largely being paid for by China and developed countries that are turning away from the technology at home. That's the point here. We're talking about countries like China and United States of America, right? Other places that are like, oh, we're going green and we definitely see renewable energies, because they do. They see that the future is in renewable energies. Investors are starting to see that. People turn away. However, they don't have any problem selling the old technology to other countries that are just developing, saying, hey, we've been doing coal for a while. We can make it clean for you. Let's set you up with a coal infrastructure. And it's immoral. It's disgusting. It's greed. It's ridiculous. Like, what's the point of your country going green if you're going to promote fossil fuel use in another one, you stupid fuck? We're all on the same planet. What part of all on the same planet don't they get? It's the ignorance of their greed that blows my mind. And I say this over and over again, but you can't. Yeah, the northern hemisphere has always exploited the southern. True, Jilly Love. Very true. You know, it's just sad. It's just very sad that. And there's a HuffPost article here, and they talk about, although it's reloading right now, they talk about how Kenya shouldn't sign a deal with Chinese developers because they've done bad deals in the past and their work has sucked and they've really not delivered, which sounds a lot like the Clinton Foundation when they were sent in to help Haiti and they sent in some bullshit contractor friends of Bill's and Hillary's and they fucked the whole thing up. Sound familiar? Some greedy fucks come in, say we're going to offer a solution. It's cheap. Stupid government officials buy the cheap solution because of greed. They get kickbacks. The solution sucks. And the people are fucked. That's basically the United States of America and every other country the United States of America has dealt with. It's just ridiculous. There's another article talking about how wind and solar are cheaper than coal. Even though the Kenya was convinced that coal is cheaper. This goes into the math of it, right? So, yes, at the start, if you look at it, the coal prices for coal-developed energy is cheaper. However, when you factor in what they actually have to do to get that coal delivered as energy to the people, it becomes way more expensive when you factor in the environmental cost. Every ton of coal creates a ton of CO2 in the air. It's like a 1-to-1 ratio. Right? That's it. That's part of the environmental cost. They have to build a railway to deliver the coal from one part of the country to another one. Before the railway, they have to import the coal via shipyard. This is the plant, the coal plant that they want to build won't even be able to get the coal out of the mine that they want to build for years. So they're going to build a coal plant, work on a railroad, import coal, all to use a technology that won't even pay for itself ever, that won't even be as cheap as they say it's going to be for at least 5-10 years. And by that time, why even be on coal? It's literally selling swampland in Florida as a resort area. Selling coal energy. China, just like the United States. It's really sad. It's very sad. And the people don't want it. The people are resisting. They're fighting. The only way to stop that is to take back our fucking government. And anybody who says we can't take back the people or the power at the top because it's corrupt just has to look at what we're doing down at the ground level. We are mounting the same attack and surge that the Tea Party did on the GOP, except we're doing it a lot faster. We're doing it a lot better. We're doing it with issues. We're doing it around the issues for the most part, right? And that's what's important. That's what's important. Hey, Wesley Scott. Wesley Scott, while I see your name in there, you need to send me your address. I can't send you seeds without address. I sent you a note in Patreon, but I haven't been paying much attention to Patreon, and I apologize, guys. Things have just been going crazy here. Very crazy. So, anyway. Jeanette, also imagine how vulnerable anyone is during... What are you guys talking about? I'm looking up here. We're talking about coal, and I see people talking about sex. I'm not even going to ask. Moving on. Moving on. Swiss company is ordered to pay billions in reparations to Kansas farmers over GMO corn. This is just unbelievable. I guess they made one version of their genetically screwed corn, and that was approved. Then they made another version of their genetically screwed corn, but it hadn't been approved, and all of a sudden these people catch it, and they're like, where'd this one come from? Oh, we're sorry. We just made that one and sent it through. Didn't bother to tell you it was a new genetic Frankenstein. Sorry. So, good. They're paying billions in reparations. It's about time. We need to shut down these companies. We don't need GMO anything. We don't need it. Oh, you guys are talking about self-defense. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Let's not even go... I can't even go down that road. What does Poodle Susan have? Where's the great advice? Oh, yeah, scratching. Yeah, okay, you guys are getting into the nitty-gritty of that. I'm not even going to go there. I'm just going to carry on with the news, because now we're actually kind of on time. I got 20 minutes left. Good story here. If we were on MSM News, this would be the puppies story at the end of the show. After they do puppies, and then they talk about the Dow, right? Always got to end it with the Dow up 500 points, NASDAQ index down 57. No one gives a fuck ever about those numbers. We don't care. No one cares. Anyway, world's first water park for people with disabilities has just opened, and it's the best thing ever. This is really fucking cool. With summer almost upon us, water parks across the world will be filling up with children and adults looking for a fun way to cool down. And this new park is called Morgan's Inspiration. It's in Island. It's in San Antonio, Texas. The whole thing was built to make it not crowded and not crazy. Right? These pictures are awesome. This is just, what a great idea. And it was a guy who wanted to do it for his own kid, who worked together with a whole bunch of people in the community, businesses, organizations, and they did it. They put it together. Our goal is to provide a great guest experience in an inclusive, safe, comfortable, not overly crowded environment, says park founder Gordon Hartman. The park is an extension of Morgan's Wonderland in San Antonio, Texas. Those great pictures. Hartman named the park after his daughter, Morgan, who also has disabilities. He created Morgan's Inspiration Island with help of doctors, parents, teachers, special needs therapists, and caregivers. The park caters for people with all types of disabilities. The venue offers traceable bracelets that allow parents to locate their children. That's a smart idea. Look at that. That's huge. How fun. I think that's really cool. In the midst of everything that we have going on, there are still good things happening in communities with good people everywhere. And sometimes we need to remember to look at that. Sometimes I forget. I'm just looking at all the evil and what's going on with Orange One and all that shit. And I'm like, I need something good. I need something good. What's going on here in Lynn-Benton County is good, right? The connections that we're making and the things that are happening, it's good. It's just a little crazy for me, and got to get things settled, and I got to get the people building the plane. We used to say, we're building the plane in the air with BTV. And we built it, and we've crashed it and burned it 4 times. And now we're building it a whole new way. And with your guys' help, I think this is the one that's going to fly. We're learning, right? We're learning. This is this is really thank you, Brad. It is very important. Mark, hey Mark. Hey Mark K-Spear. Glad to see you on the show this morning. You're in chat this morning. How are you? Mark K-Spear is one of the people working with Lynn County Dems and also part of Progressive Democratic Party of Oregon. And Mark has done a hangout with me, and he's willing to be trained and learn to know what's going on. So there's Mark. Thank you for joining us, Mark. You were ordered. Who ordered you to watch this show? We got any other Lynn County Dems? Just to clarify, this show really is totally for me and the audience, and it is a poor example of anything we would do officially for the Lynn County Dems. It's really a family show if you're my kind of family, which is R-rated, a lot of F-bombs, dick jokes, that kind of, this kind of family. Just want to clarify that. Jim Lockett says, non-crowded, does that mean that they charge an exorbitant amount, or do they limit access to the handicapped? They limit access to the people with disabilities, Jim, and since it was built by a guy who's got a daughter that's disabled, my guess is he's not after gouging them for cash, I would hope. But, maybe we could find a resident and go there and find out. I don't know. I hope not. That would suck. This is, for marijuana legalization, there just keeps being good news. First there was opioid use drops, right? Suicide by opioids drops. Deaths by opioids drops like a significant amount, like 25%. Because of cannabis being legalized in Colorado and Washington and Oregon. And now, another study shows that police searches drop dramatically in states that legalize marijuana. Go figure. These searches, these vehicle searches, are really just a means for cops to make money. Never should exist anyway. I thought you're smoking marijuana. And they do this a lot in other states. I pulled you over because it looked like you were smoking marijuana. It smelled marijuana in the car. I could see smoke coming out of your car. They make up whatever bullshit reason it is to pull people over, especially people of color. Right? But traffic searches by highway patrols in Colorado and Washington dropped by nearly half after the 2 states legalized marijuana in 2012. That also reduced the racial disparities in the stops, not by as much. Right? Blacks and Hispanics are still searched at higher rates than whites. Highway stops have long been a tool in the war on drugs, bullshit. And this is how they're a tool. We found drugs in your car. Thanks for those drugs. Now my partner and I have some drugs for the evening, or now we can add that to our collective stash and go sell it for money on the street. Thank you so much for the war on drugs. So last week, protests erupted over the acquittal of Minnesota police officer who shot to death Philando Castile after pulling over for a broken taillight, which was bullshit. Right? But anyway, they threw that in there talking about different, minorities being pulled over by police for any reason. But here's the Washington Highway Patrol searches plummeted. After marijuana legalization, discretionary searches more than halved. You see that? Boom. The overuse of traffic stops can damage the public trust in police. No. Has damaged, damage done, damage been done for a long time, big damage already. Nationally. Particularly when searches disproportionately involve black and Hispanic drivers, yeah? Searches where you don't find something are really negative towards the community. You shouldn't be just searching to find shit in the first place, assholes. Protect and serve, not search and seizure. And like he says, having a police officer search your car is really like, why are they doing this to me? Anyway, here's Colorado Highway Patrol searches. Right? My guess is the cops that aren't out for the money or for the drug stash are glad that they don't pull people over all the time for this, because they're really not offenses we should be pulling people over. You've got a lot worse to be looking out for. And I'd really prefer my cops focusing on that than people smoking a doobie in their car. So anyway, pretty cool. And I'm glad you're all welcoming Mark. Where's Trump's your uncle? He's supposed to supply the Trump jokes. I haven't seen Trump's this morning. Was that just a cheap dick joke, Brom? Just to say Dick Cheney? Anyway. It's 11:49. I got nobody in here, and we're going to end up ending early, which is actually maybe unprecedented, but it's also a good thing because it's really hot in here. If you can't tell, I'm getting a nice sheen going on. I don't have somebody from makeup that can come in and powder me, Thank you all for being here. Jilly Love, you were late too. People drop by whenever. This is DVR. You watch whenever. I know Froze was like 10 minutes behind. Good to see you. I didn't tell you. I don't know how Markus is. Let me tell you. So Dennis this weekend is off working at his parents. Are opening a new restaurant, Turkish food restaurant in Belgium. Doesn't that sound yummy? And Laura Livengood had to go off, and I don't remember what she was doing, but she's got something going on. She's going to a thing. Markus has got sciatica nerve back pain, and his doctor said sitting is a bad idea. So Markus is laying down right now, I hope. All right, you better be, Markus. I'm gonna check up on you. I don't call you doctor on you if you're not. I don't know when he's going to return. He's not engaged in Slack right now, so I'm guessing he's resting, having a good time. I hope he's got himself a good German doobie to smoke there, and that's what he's doing. So yeah, that's where we're at, and things are moving, right? Things are moving. For as crazy as things are right now. Thank you, Kendra. I will go cool down. Thank you, guys. You guys stay cool and safe as well, please. Darcy says, fundraiser, solar panels and fans for... I talked to Jim Gurley about community solar, right? About what it's going to take to get community solar, like a Lynn County solar project to give everybody electricity for free. And here's the problem. Fracked gas. Here. We're all on natural gas. This house is on natural gas. I don't want to be on natural gas, but I don't have an option, right? It's there. I've got electricity coming in, and I could probably power everything with electricity, but all the major appliances, the water heater is natural gas. You say that the water heater, actually, maybe just the water heater, and I think about it. I still have to replace the damn thing, but, and the fireplace. But there's a cool breeze in Sweet Home, says Mark. That's nice. That's nice. Oh, Paula. Hey, Paula. We're still talking about weed. Hi, Paula. Paula is smoking Narnia. Remember the Narnia strain that I love so much? I can't even find it. I'd forgotten about it. There's so many new strains that are out. And I didn't tell you about AC/DC. I'll fill this time fast. You guys all know that I grow weed, and I will grow all the weed I damn well please. There's a strain called AC/DC. I've been trying to get a high CBD strain. What's high CBD? High CBD is the healing aspect, not the psychoactive. CBD is the healing part of cannabis. It's really what's important, especially for people that have serious epilepsy issues. It works the best. And you combine that. If you combine that with a ratio of THC to CBD, you can really get an effective medication. Just depends on what you need. I have been trying to get a clone, a strain of any high CBD cannabis, and they're hard to find. They're hard to get, and they're more expensive than the regular clones. Yesterday, I got lucky, and I got a strain called, or actually it was Thursday, I got a strain called ACDC, which has a CBD content of anywhere from 16 to 20, and the THC comes in at a lower rate, but it's greater than 1%, right? And it doesn't matter, you would just blend that up with another one. Anyway, I've got it, it's planted, we're letting it grow, and then we'll take a clone from that, and we'll do a crop, and I'm all excited about that. So I just had to tell you guys about that, really. Yes, DJ Dialogue, hi CBD. Jeanette Hoban, there is a Narnia strain, and it is a blast. It is one of the most fun, giggly strains you will. I don't know if you're a smoker. If you smoke cannabis, the Narnia strain will make you feel like you are 17. It's just a blast. But Robert says, I have an insomnia friend who loves John's idea of growing personal medicines. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Eco Sutra says, why the fuck would I want to smoke that? You wouldn't want to giggle like you're 17? I do. Maybe you didn't hear that yet. Anyway, Mark says ACDC sounds kinky. I don't know how the cannabis growers pick the names for strains. Got me. They're just fun names. It's one of the, you ever good enough to make your own strain? Fun times picking the name, huh? Anyway. Thank you guys for being here. We're going to get out of here with Learning to Fly, Pink Floyd, 1987. I was 17 years old, and it was probably one of the best years of my life. There was some crazy shit that went down, but it was a good year in my life. Before I really became the hardcore drunk that I ended up being at the age of 19. 17 was this great year of like high school and going out on my own and kind of learning to fly in a lot of ways, because my parents were dealing with their own things, and yeah. And right now, with us, with the citizens of the United States, with the globe, with the citizens of the globe, recognizing the evil that we now face, we're kind of learning to fly. We're learning to take back control of our government. We're learning to communicate with each other again. We're learning to evolve. I think we're trying to evolve, trying to progress. And we're learning what it's like to crash and burn when we don't get it right. And that's all part of it. I'm just glad it's happening, right? I'm glad we're awake, because we weren't even interested in flying before Bernie Sanders. Now we realize what we can do, where we can go. So I'm excited. No matter how shitty it gets, I know that we are learning to fly. We'll see you guys probably tomorrow. We got Bernie Sanders in the evening, and maybe, I don't know. We'll see how hot it is in this room. I don't have a card for it. Maybe I'll go live with the Sanders thing this afternoon. And thank you all, volunteers, wrenches, mods, everybody that has helped put this together, and everybody that is continuing to work on this. This is one piece of all of us. And we got to keep moving this forward, learning to fly. See you tomorrow. Oh yeah, hang on. We're not going to play this just yet. I have to make a commentary about this before I play it, or you guys are going to notice something and be like, what the hell is going on? This video was done by, I have the wiki for this. Let's talk about this real quick. That way we can be officially late. So this video was done by a famous video guy in the MTV era who did videos for all sorts of people. He did videos for the Scorpions and Van Halen. He's big. His name is Strom something or other. I got to find the name. I had this guy up. Anyway, famous video guy. The video for Learning to Fly official that went on MTV shows an American, a Native American, and then another Native American guy doing a dance in the background, and its connection to the earth and flying, and I was like, what is this, right? Because today, now, we're all a little more sensitive and present about Native Americans and how we've kind of whitewashed everything. We continue to whitewash Native American culture and life in video and film all over the place. And I was looking at the guy, I'm like, he doesn't look like he's Native American. Why didn't they use a Native American? And I went and checked at it. He's not a Native American. The guy's a Canadian actor that they used for that role. I don't know why. And the director of the videos is, I mean, I'm sure he had this big important meaning, but at the time there was no sensitivity to the idea that maybe we should pick a Native American actor to do these Native American roles. Canadian guy, so I'm just saying, I don't know, I just wanted to put that out here. When you watch this, you're going to be like, that's interesting, and just keep that in mind. The point isn't so much what they're doing in the video, it's the concept of us taking off and realizing now that we can, right? We may still have to build pieces of that machine, like connecting us with